Welcome to the Lexy Show, Fashion That Gives a Damn, where we expose fast fashion and celebrate the brands and products actually making a difference for our planet. I'm Lexi Silverstein, and today I'm talking with Vanessa Sanchez, founder of BONNEE, a clothing swap app designed to make sharing your wardrobe easier, more social, and way more sustainable. If you're new here, head to lexisilverstein.com for information on sustainable fashion and eco-conscious living. And if you love what you hear, subscribe and share this episode. It helps more than you think. Vanessa, welcome. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Let's jump on into the podcast then. Let's start with BONNEE. What inspired you to build a clothing swap app, and what gap did you feel like was missing in the way we currently shop or share our clothes?
Yeah, so I definitely think that it was a frustration. So I have two other co-founders. So we are a team of three that started BONNEE. And we noticed that we kept looking at our closets and seeing that we had so much clothes that we loved, but just weren't wearing. And we
Yeah.
know that a lot of other people have that same problem. And over the years, we saw that resale was growing so much, but swapping, it really wasn't. It's still really informal. It lives in WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, that sort of place. And there wasn't really a centralized place online where people could swap their clothes. So we thought that now's the moment for us to start BONNEE. Now is the moment for swapping to really become the next best big thing and best thing. We find that swapping isn't really just about offloading a piece. It's about finding something that's new to you, extending the life cycle of clothes. It's all about that. So we thought that this is the right moment for BONNEE.
I love it. I think that is definitely a common occurrence that people will find where they're like looking in their closet and they gravitate towards the same few pieces. And even though the other items in your closet are super cool, you just are noticing that you're not wearing them. And so I think
Yeah.
that is such a great way to utilize that because I feel like it's a common occurrence. I feel like it's something that we all probably do with our closet.
I was just going to say that I saw a statistic a few years ago that really stuck with me. And it says that the average person wears 20% of their clothes 80% of the time. So we're just wearing the same stuff over and over again. And
Yeah,
I'm so guilty of that. I'll look at my closet and be like, oh, yeah, let me rewear this t shirt, but
same.
not that other one for some reason.
Yeah. No, that's actually genuinely insane. I always am encouraging people to shop your own closet and find ways of basically wearing your pieces in a new way or styling them
Mhm.
differently, but also if there's good pieces, let other people wear them.
I know. I love that.
It's a great option. So can you walk us through how BONNEE actually works for someone who's never used it before and what makes it different from resale apps like Depop or Poshmark?
Yeah, so our app is available for iOS and Android, and it's pretty straightforward. So you just list pieces from your closet that you're ready to pass along, and you get a BONNEE swap coin, so either silver, gold, or platinum. And the coin is really determined based on the brand and the value of that piece. So silver, we like to say, is for your everyday basics, so brands like American Eagle or The Gap. Then we have gold, which are slightly more elevated, Anthropologie or Aloe, Lululemon, that kind of clothes. And then we have platinum, which is really your luxury pieces and your luxury brands. So once you have that swap coin, you get that and you request an item that's got that same swap coin. Once the swap is confirmed, the item is shipped directly to your door. So it's pretty simple. I think that what really makes us different from resale platforms like Poshmark, like Depop, is that there's no price negotiation. So there's no buying and selling. You don't have to worry about waiting to see if someone's going to try to negotiate the price that you listed or wait to see if someone even buys it from you. It's a completely different mindset. And honestly, we built BONNEE because we wanted it to be fun and personal. We wanted to take away that pressure of buying and selling that you see so often on those apps.
That is so incredible. I think that's such a great system, and I think that that's just so cool, and I'm excited to try it myself. I'm like gonna I've been looking at my closet recently, and I'm feeling like I just think I have a lot of stuff right now, and I'm just like that's so nice and amazing that I have the privilege to be able to feel that way. I feel like I am at this point in my sustainable journey where I want everything in my closet to be pieces that I want for the rest of my life. And having the opportunity to swap them for a piece that maybe more resonates with me that I'll wear. Again, the statistic that you said was actually so ridiculous. I cannot believe that you said 20% of our closet?
Yeah, 80% of the time. So we're wearing that same 20% over and over again.
That's sitting with me now. I'm like, oh, that does not rub me in any of the right ways.
And I think especially now as we go into summer, it's a perfect time to try out swapping. Some of that
Mhm.
cold weather clothes, those sweaters that you probably aren't going to be wearing unless you're going to a place that's very chilly or the AC really high. Now's a chance to kind of swap that out for your summer looks.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people default to selling their items and not swapping them. Why do you think that swapping is such a kind of underrated solution when it comes to sustainability?
Oh my goodness, swapping is so underrated. I feel like so many people are missing out by not swapping their clothes. I think for us as humans, a lot of fashion has really trained us that once we are done with a piece of clothing, we really only have two options. You either kind of throw it away or you try to sell it and make money. But there's this huge middle ground where swapping lives. And we're
Mhm.
really excited to be unlocking that behavior in people. I think that at BONNEE, we're always talking about how there's so much value in the clothes that we already have. We like to say that our clothes is currency. And the average person just owns so much clothes, but we still feel like we have nothing to wear. And I'm like 100% guilty of that. I'll have an event or I'm going to go to brunch with friends and I'll be like, oh my goodness, I have nothing to wear, but I have in reality a closet full of clothes that for some reason is just not speaking to me anymore. And the great thing about swapping is that it's really just extending the life cycle of clothes. Just because it's something that you're not wearing anymore, it's no longer your size, it's no longer your style, doesn't mean that it's not the perfect piece for someone else. So swapping is really great about that. We always talk about how swapping gives you access to new to you clothes because the piece isn't brand new doesn't mean that it's not new to someone and that they're not going to love it. And I think historically swapping has really been like an informal thing. I used to swap clothes with my sister all the time with
Mhm.
my friends, but there really wasn't a platform for me to do that at a greater level. Just because I'm based in Miami doesn't mean that my style twin isn't based in New York City or
Mhm.
in Texas, anywhere across the country. And BONNEE really unlocks that and lets people be able to connect for all across the country, all different types of styles, sizes, everything.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that's so great. I've been doing a lot of in-person clothing swaps lately. I think it's underrated. I think that not enough people are talking about this. I think also regifting things. If you get something and you're not gonna wear it, you don't use it all the time, like whatever it might be, like it is still a newish item. It is gonna be new to someone, and I think that if you think that it's fits someone more than it fits yourself, there should be no shame in a little regift.
100%. Yeah, a hundred
And
percent.
I think it's like what you said. So many of us are already swapping. I swap stuff. I don't really swap it. I more just take stuff from my mom's closet without her knowledge, but whatever. I swap with my friends. We're practicing this, but this is a way of bringing it on a bigger level. And I think that a fun activity to do with friends is like hosting a clothing swap where it's just you bring 5 items or something and then you all hang out like how you would usually hang out, but you put the items down and you swap them for 5 other items. And I'm always encouraging people to do that. And I've been hosting a lot of clothing swaps lately, but I think that having an app version is so beneficial. And I think that a big thing that I talk about or that we in general in the sustainability industry talk about is like how do we make sustainability more accessible? And I think that this is such a great way of doing so.
Yeah, and I love an in-person swap. I'm fortunate enough to have friends and to live in a city where that is a normal occurrence, but
Mhm.
not everyone has that access to person swaps. So I think being able to swap online and connect with other people is also really a really exciting thing and a great thing for people to have access to.
Yeah, no, completely. It's so cool. And I feel like it's in general, it's just another thing that we already practice where it's okay, well, I'm getting rid of things from my closet so that I can bring new things into my
Mm-hmm.
closet, which hopefully we're not all doing that. Hopefully we just don't consume as much. But in the realistic world, like how I'm assuming a lot of people think is, and I know that it's a big shopping thing where it's okay if I bring one thing into my closet, I must get rid of another thing. So if you're already in the habit of, okay, I'm getting rid of things to get new things, like why not make it sustainable?
Yeah.
Why not swap it for something that is already out there?
And something that you'll actually wear too.
Yeah. You know, I've just spend money. It's so great.
And that's the best part too. You just take something that you already own, something that you already paid for, and get
Yeah.
something new in return without having to buy something new.
No, that's like literally like it's a perfect practice. It's perfect. It's like what more could you ask for? It's a new to you item at a price that you already paid. And in my mind, if I already paid for the item and I'm getting a new one, it's free.
Yeah, girl math right there, girl math.
I know it's not, but like it is. So that's free. If I paid for it like months ago,
Yeah, it's basically free.
literally similar to what we're talking about, but fast fashion thrives on kind of convenience and this instant gratification. So how do you make swapping feel just as easy or even more rewarding?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we have with our platform is that fast fashion has just made it so easy and convenient for people to buy something and sometimes even get it the next day, directly at
Hmm.
their house. So when we were creating BONNEE, we wanted to make sure that the swap felt truly like it could compete with online shopping without it feeling complicated or feeling like you had to compromise. We wanted to feel exciting and intuitive. So when we were building BONNEE, we actually just launched the second version of our app less than a month ago. So we worked specifically with, oh, thank you, specifically with a UX designer who had experience when it came to resale and retail because we wanted it to feel online swapping to feel just like you were shopping. We wanted the exchange process to be smooth. We wanted to be for you to be able to post an item really easily, to be able to find new items for you in a really fun and exciting way. And I mentioned that we like to say that your closet is your currency, which is why we decided to do swap coins because we wanted to play on that currency, which is really exciting. So you could unlock thousands of items immediately from your phone. And for us, what we really found is that we wanted to make that emotional shift for people to be able to move away from shopping and move into this new world of swapping. Instead of having guilt about impulse buying or having clothes that's piling up in your house, in your closet that you're just not wearing, we want people to feel excited about extending the life of the fashion that they already own. So it's really all about a sense of participation and contribution. So you're part of this movement instead of just doing another transaction.
Yeah, completely. I love that. I think sustainability, I think, seems sometimes hard to do. Where do I start? There's so much information out there. Like, how do I go about doing this? And I think that this is such a great way of if you're trying to get into it, it's accessible, it's easy, it doesn't cost money, and you're learning about sustainability, you're doing it in a very straightforward way, but then it's such a cool thing where I can so see that being like someone's like, "Oh, I like your shirt." And then I'm like, "Oh my God, thanks. I got it on BONNEE and I swapped it with someone in Texas and
Yeah.
they sent it to me and then I sent them something I wasn't wearing anymore." And that's such a cool story to tell. And then I can already see like, that person being like, "Wait, that's the coolest thing ever. Let me get this." And then you're like getting people on this sustainability thing, but in a fun way.
Yeah, and every piece of clothing has a story, whether we know it or not, it has a story. So when you post an item on BONNEE, we actually have an option for you to put in a little bit of history of the piece, like why you're letting go of it, your favorite memory with it, just so that story can continue with the next person and they could know. I have this button-up shirt that I thrifted years ago that I absolutely love, but it's got like the initials sewn in on the sleeve, and I always wonder, like, who was this person? Like, what's their story? So being able to see the history of your piece that you're swapping is actually really cool too.
Oh, that's the coolest thing ever. I'm obsessed with that. I am gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna be like, "Oh my God, I got this here, and here's the image in my brain of who owned it before me, even though that's probably not what it was, but this is the story I picture when I wear this item, and some of the amazing cool things that I've done while wearing it." That's
Mhm.
so cool. I love. There's a company that I can't remember what they're called right now, but they have a similar thing where they take stuffed animals that kids have already played with, and they like basically repair them to be bought again and for kids to play with them again. And they have a similar, like, they tell the story of what kid owned the toy
Oh, I love
beforehand. And
that.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, that's the cutest thing ever.
it is.
Like,
Oh, I love
that I can
that.
add my story to it's, and I think we need to appreciate the things we own more, whether that's our clothes or just like our food or just anything. There's fast fashion now, and we're really in this mindset of just buying, wearing once, disposing, buying something new, that we're not appreciating the things that we own. And I think having that storytelling aspect is so important because, again, it's like a fun way where I'm not necessarily thinking about the sustainability aspect of it. I'm just talking about like, oh, I wore this to a really cool event and now you have the chance to wear it. But
Mm.
then, if again, if someone compliments my outfit or something and I tell the story about BONNEE and then I'm like, and this person wore this to this event and now I'm wearing it, it makes me appreciate the item even more. And we just need to appreciate our things because the more we appreciate them and invest in them, the longer they're going to be in our closet and the less waste and overconsumption we will contribute to.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of when I go thrifting, I see a lot of old concert tees from the 70s and 80s. And I always like to think, I'm like, who was this person that bought this Bob Dylan
Oh my
like
gosh.
concert tee and is now giving it up? I'm like, what happened? I just love to think about the clothes belonging to someone else and the history of it.
That's why I am like such a stickler for every time I go to a concert, I buy a t-shirt. Because there was a time that I think I was like shopping, it was vintage shopping with my mom or something, and she bought a Def Leppard shirt because she loves that band or whatever. And she spent way more money than a person needs to spend on a really old t-shirt. It wasn't that expensive, but like, for a t-shirt, it was.
Yeah.
It was like, why are we spending $40 on this t-shirt? No reason to be doing all that. And so which to say the freaking concert tees at 100% are like $40 or more. But I always buy a concert tee when I go. My future children, they're gonna be like, what the heck? You have an original Justin Bieber
I know,
t-shirt?
right?
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I do, because I saw him 2026 Coachella. Like, wasn't I cool?
I know. Oh my goodness, I have a t-shirt like that. My Spice Girls concert t-shirt. That
Obsessed. Okay, wait, that's tea. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I have so many t-shirts at this point. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with them. Like, I only sleep in them. I'm not a t-shirt wearing girly. So I branched out and I've started buying sweatshirts sometimes. But I have I'm like, this is a lot of buying t-shirts for future kids that might think it's cool, might not.
I was actually gifted a tote bag once that was made from old vintage tees, which is really cool.
Okay, I'm obsessed because I've been having a bunch of, I think I've talked about this too many times to too many people, because I've been having a lot of people sending me things that you can do with
Mhm.
vintage teas. And even just using if you like a t-shirt and you like the graphic on it, you can straight up just cut out the graphic and then use it as
Like
like
a
a
patch.
patch
Okay,
on your
yeah,
clothes. And I'm like, that's genius. God,
that's
people
very
are
cool.
so creative.
I've
Everything
seen
is so
quilts too from old concert tees. I don't know if you're like,
That's what I have a quill from my cousin and my aunt, I think. This was a really long time ago. I think they made it for me. They made me a quill out of like when I graduated high school, they made me a quill out of like all of the old t-shirts I had from things I had done from elementary school to high school. And I still have it now.
so
I'm
cute.
looking
I
at
love
it.
that.
But it's so cute. And it was like, I was never going to wear those t-shirts again. They're like high school t-shirts. I have no reason to wear my dance uniform t-shirt. But now I have a fun little quilt that I'll keep forever. And I'm like, what if I cut it and then it lessens how cool it is? They're like, I don't know. I don't know. See, I have the opposite issue of I value my things too much,
Me
where
too.
then I'm
I'm with
like,
you.
I'm
I'm
like
like
way
my
too sentimental with it.
elementary graduation dress. I still have it because it has
Oh my
like
God.
value.
I low key, my parents might have gotten rid of it, but I had my bat mitzvah dress from when I was 13 years old. I'm not fitting in a dress that I
Yeah.
from when I'm 13 years old. Are you kidding me? That's a joke and a half. We just sold her my childhood house. And so I'm like, they low key might have gotten rid of it and just not told me. But I was like, But literally, what's the reason? There's no reason for me to have that dress anymore. I'm never gonna fit in it. I was 13 years
It's
old.
crazy because those styles are coming back. I look at the stuff that I used to wear in high school. When I look at those photos, I'm like, oh, it looks so dated. But I'm like, no, people are wearing
Everything
this
comes back.
style now.
Everything comes back. There is no trend that in fashion that has not already been
Existed.
done.
Yeah.
Which makes me not want to get rid of anything ever because I'm like, ugh. I remember my lovely mother had like, such cool pieces and she had gotten rid of like all of them when I was younger. And so I would look back at pictures of her when she was younger and I was like, where the heck is this piece at? Like, that's so sick. I wish you kept that. And she was like, no, I got rid of it. And I'm like, okay, again, what if my future children are like, Mom, this was the coolest thing ever. Why'd you get rid of it? And then I'm like, I have to curate my cool vintage wardrobe for my future children. Gosh.
I know. I look at my mom's clothes from the 70s too, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this was so amazing. I don't know if I'd fit in it, but it would have been nice to
But
have
like
that
it would have been
option.
nice. It would have been
Yeah.
nice. I did have one piece that my aunt found deep in her basement one time. It's a really cool fur jacket and I have it now. And
Oh my goodness, that's cool.
I was very lucky because no one on that side of my family kind of dresses quite as insane as I do. So I was very lucky that her daughters did not want it and that I got to have the piece. But then again, it's like I value it so much. And then when people compliment it, I'm like, oh, thanks. It's my aunt's that she got in high school from a boyfriend of hers or whatever. And she kept it and gave it to me. And it just
A
makes me
story within a
appreciate
story.
a story within a story. It just makes us appreciate our clothes and our things so much more. And we need to be doing more of that.
Yeah, we definitely do. If only everyone could be that way.
What have you learned about like consumer behavior with people who are using BONNEE? Are a lot of people already swapping? Are they new to swapping? What's like, what, anything surprised you?
I think it's been a mix of people. We have the people who have done the in-person swapping before and they absolutely love it. When they hear about BONNEE, they download it immediately and they're like, oh my God, yes, you don't have to explain anything to them. And then we have the people who just don't even understand what a swap is. You're like, you're
Mhm.
trading your clothes. So it's really been a lot about educating people and explaining that there is a way to get clothes without having to buy something new or even go to a thrift store. So
Yeah.
that's been a really cool something that we've learned. And whenever we do in-person events, we found that people who grew up in the 70s and 80s, they're like, they get it immediately. They're like, oh my goodness, I used to do this with my friends back in the day.
Oh, I
So
love
that's
that.
really cool to see as well. Most of our users are like millennials or Gen Z. So when we meet someone who's outside of that demographic and they get it immediately, and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to tell my daughter, I'm going to tell my niece, I'm going to tell my nephew about the app. That's really cool for us.
Yeah, that's so cool. Again, I brought up a good point of like not having to go into a thrift store because I think I get that comment a lot where like people are like, I don't want to go in person to a thrift store. That's so overwhelming. And I'm like, I totally get it. Unfortunately, that is where I thrive the most.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I cannot, I so get you, but I cannot relate. I love a thrift store.
So funny. So I used to work for many years at Goodwill here in South Florida. I was
Oh
like on the
yeah,
marketing team. And as much as I love a thrift store, some of them have gotten so expensive
I
nowadays.
know. Oh my
Even
God,
like
they're
thrifting is like
so
no longer like accessible to so many people.
they're really expensive and it pains me so much, but they are so ridden with fast fashion.
I
And it like
know.
genuinely sends me into a little bit of a spiral because I'm like, oh my God, when I come to a thrift store in 5 years, it's just gonna have a Shein. Oh God, I can't
Hmm.
even talk about it. It's a sensitive
Oh, I
topic.
know. And now you saw the news that Everlane got bought by Shein.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, oh, this is low. This is
These are
hurting.
dark days. But I think that again, like it's so nice to have because that's something that I recommend to people is okay, if you don't want to go to a thrift store, start online. There's so many places to find things secondhand. Go to Facebook Marketplace, go to
Yeah.
Depop,
Hmm.
Poshmark, whatever. This is such a great opportunity again to make sustainability more accessible. And if a thrift store is not your calling, and like you were saying earlier, like maybe you live in an area where hosting or doing a swap with friends is harder, like being able to have an app is so great. And I just think it makes it so much more accessible and it's fun. I think that is such a big thing for me is how do we make sustainability fun? How do we make it sexy? How do we make it hot? I think as much as I love like talking to people and getting down in the nitty-gritties and talking about like stats and the truth of everything, and I can and I will go on a tangent for hours and hours. It is also great and I think honestly more appealing to people when you talk about like the fun side of things and you're just like,
Mhm.
"Oh my God, you like my outfit? Great. I have an app for you."
Yeah, it's all about making things fun. I think it's a dopamine like fix that people are after when they go online shopping. They want something instantly. So it's all about making everything as fun and simple as possible so people realize that swapping is cool.
It is. Exactly. What do you think are some mistakes that people make when trying to make their wardrobe more sustainable so that we can maybe point them out so that people can maybe avoid doing them?
Yeah, I think that people try to be perfect when it comes to sustainability, and there's really no such thing. I think when people start this like sustainable journey, they want to stop shopping completely. They want to throw everything that they own. They want to suddenly start buying these expensive ethical brands, and there's just so much pressure in that to try to make sustainability your big thing. But I think that's really inaccessible and really unrealistic. I think that one of the simplest things that you can do is actually just wear what you have longer and be more intentional about what you get next, extending the life of your clothes, whether it's through thrifting or swapping or repairing it, rewearing it. That really has such a huge impact. So I think that's the biggest step that people can just take, that simple thing, wearing the stuff that they have a little bit longer. I think that repair is really underrated as well. I think that a lot of people see a hole in their clothes or a tear, whatever it is, a stain, and they immediately think that they need to get rid of it when that's not really the case. If you have a stain, you can put a nice patch on it. You can there's so many channels on YouTube, on TikTok that are showing you cool stitches that you could do on your clothes to repair them. So I think that's also really underrated.
Completely. I'm a big fan. I just love talking about this. I'm a big fan of taking my shoes to the cobbler because all of my shoes are thrifted, which means they last me maybe one wear and then they're falling apart. And then I'm like, ah,
Mhm.
now I understand why this really cool shoe is at the thrift store. I still love the shoe and they're super, super cool. And so I take them to a cobbler. I'm like besties with my local cobbler. They give me, they're like, if you find a local business, I think, which I feel like I can't think of any cobbler chains, shoe repair
I don't
chains.
know if any exist actually.
I'm like,
That's
I feel like it's such a lost art that there's no way, but I could be wrong. My local guy, he's so nice. He'll be like, Lexy, you're the best, but this shoe is not worth the $100 you're about to pay to get this fixed. And I'm like, I appreciate you telling me that. Thank you. But if it is worth it and it's a shoe I'm really obsessed with, getting the bottom of it fixed is so easy. It's done in a week. Supported a local business and I have a shoe that I can now wear again and again, and it's so great.
I feel
And
the
then
same way
same,
about seamstresses actually.
yes,
That's
I was
another
gonna say
lost
same with
art.
seamstresses.
Yeah, I've recently discovered that I'm like, you know what? I just need to get my clothes better fitted. I don't need to get something that's new to me. I can actually just get this fitted or I can get this whole repaired. I'm not the
Yeah.
best sewer, so I'm outsourcing that to a local business.
Yeah. No, completely. I have a whole bag that has been sitting by my door for months now. I should definitely take it to my seamstress. But it's of pieces that I'm like, I love and obsessed with, but I just want it to fit low-waisted instead of high-waisted, or I want it to be tighter, shorter, whatever.
It's like
And
magic, this work that they do.
it's so incredible. It's again, it's gone for maybe maximum a week out of my closet. Mind you, these clothes have been sitting next to my door for months now, so I think I can stand for it to be gone for a week. And then when you again, it's just like that when you invest in something and you invest in your pieces. If I know that these jeans, I would wear them 100 times more if they were just the tiniest bit tighter in this one area, like I'm gonna spend the money to get them tighter in that one area, and then I'm not gonna have to buy another pair of jeans forever because they fit me perfectly. And I've
Oh, a
invested.
perfect fitting pair of jeans. It's like chef's kiss, but nothing better.
have I've yet to actually find one, but I have a pair of jeans that I'm like obsessed with, and I have no idea where they have gone. And I
Oh
have been like,
no.
I just am so confused. I low-key feel like I left them at my friend's house and I'm gonna have to text her. I wear them all the time. I am so confused as to where they go. But even then, they don't fit perfectly. In fact, they're very baggy, and which is why I like them. But
You
um,
leave them in the laundromat because I feel like a lot of people get their clothes laundered and then they like, forget about it.
they're not they I do my own laundry and I'm genuinely baffled. I'm so confused as
You'll
to where
never
they have
forget this
gone.
pair of jeans either.
No, they're like my Roman Empire, like cannot stop thinking about where the heck they are. So I'll keep you posted on that. Show up one day and I'm gonna be like, oh, duh. Forgot I put them there.
I'm invested now. You're gonna have to tell me.
I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted. I feel like the question about common mistakes goes hand in hand with this, but I always do ask, what are your top rapid fire tips for someone who's starting their journey to a more sustainable lifestyle?
I think you have to remember that every little bit counts. I think sometimes we put pressure on ourselves or believe that us making this change from shopping to swapping is really not going to make a difference. But it really does if we all think that way. One person swapping turns into 10 people swapping because you start sharing it with people and they get really invested into it. One can become 1,000 people, and 1,000 people making small shifts really does make all of the difference. And I think it's all about really just starting one day at a time. When I started my kind of sustainable journey, I decided that I wanted to get organized. So I separated my clothes into stuff that I wear every day and stuff that I don't, and really sat with them and really was like, okay, am I going to ever rewear this? Is this still my style? Is this still something that I want to hold on to? And just looking at your closet first and seeing what pieces are actually missing and what you don't actually need to get because you have 10 black shirts in your closet that you forgot about,
Mhm.
things like that. So making those small changes, I think, is a really great way to start.
Yeah, completely. That's what I think. I think I need to do a little refresh of that because I'm like, why do I have this many white t-shirts? I don't think I need this
Oh,
many.
it's like me with blazers. I am addicted to vintage blazers, and every time I see a
Okay,
vintage
so
blazer, I like
fair,
see
fair.
another one, and I'm like, how many brown plaid vintage blazers does a girl need?
How many do I really need? That's actually, I feel like my kryptonite is brown boots. I'm
Oh,
looking
really?
at my brown boots. I
Okay.
have six just looking at me.
Oh, wow.
Who needs that many brown boots? Literally not me. But it's because I just go to a thrift store and I'm like, oh, I know I wear a brown boot all the time. Let me get that one. And it's ever so slightly different than the other one. This is where I think I'm getting better at it, but there are still things that are my kryptonite where I'm like, I go to a thrift store and I'm like, do I really need this? If I leave the store, am I going to be like, but hurt that I didn't end up getting that piece? And I think I'm better at it now. So I have not purchased a brown boot in a while, but I do still have six pairs looking at me. So I just feel like maybe I don't need all those pairs.
I was talking to someone recently and they told me they do like purchase pause. So when they see something that they absolutely love, they give themselves a day or two or a week. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, if it's a day or in a week, I actually realize that I do, in fact, need this. That's when
Yeah.
they go ahead and get it instead of just getting it immediately. And I think it's a tough and difficult shift to make, but that's something else that
That's what I
really
do when
works.
I'm shopping online. I think I need to stop. I need to stop going to a thrift store, but I can't. It's so fun in there. I don't always buy stuff. I just like, I've said this before, but there's this quote from this movie, Almost Famous, and Kate Hudson, she says, like, when you're feeling down or feeling sad or whatever, you go to the record store and you hang out with your friends, meaning you hang out with the different vinyl. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's how I feel about a thrift store. I'm hanging out with my clothes.
Oh, and I've heard LA has amazing thrift stores too, so that makes
Yes.
it harder.
It makes it so hard. I don't always buy stuff, but I just love hanging out in thrift stores. But if it's an online purchase, I definitely like that's always something I'll do is I always ask myself in general the question of, okay, if I leave the thrift store, don't buy this piece, am I gonna cry about it later? Usually I would hope the answer to that is no, that's ridiculous. And then it's what am I gonna wear this to? How many times am I gonna wear it? What pieces am I gonna wear it with? And then after asking all those questions, I decide if I really want something. But I definitely was not as good at that in the past. That's why the six brown shoes are looking at me. But I think that's really smart. I also think the other thing that I've been trying to practice a lot more, which I need to do another one ASAP, but is like a no by month. And so
Mm,
obviously you can buy like groceries and your rent and like things that are necessities,
yeah,
but not buying clothes or like entertainment or like things out of the ordinary.
yeah,
I think is really good. It's a good way of slowing down because then even if you do end up buying something, it was like, okay, I broke my no buy month to do this, so it was like worth it. It's something that really stuck with you enough to break the no buy month.
yeah. And it's so eye opening because I've done those before. I don't know if I've done a full month, but I've definitely done like a few weeks at a time. And it's eye opening how easy it
So
is to buy
eye-opening.
things and how you're kind of like the go-to thing is like, oh, I'll just get this. And you're
I'll
like,
just
no,
get this.
you're like, no, I don't need to be getting this.
No, so eye-opening. And again, just gets you back on the, okay, let me go to BONNEE because then I can get something without having to spend money
Yes,
and then not
yes.
technically breaking my no buy month.
And
You guys
especially
are
not buying
using
anything new. There's so much, I'm sure you know all of these statistics, but there's, what did I read the other day that there's enough clothes on the planet to clothe the next 6 or 7
six
generations. And when
generations.
I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, that is a crazy fact that
Yeah,
there's just already so
I be
much clothes.
using that statistic like all the time. That's my go-to stat. It's crazy, but then it's okay, not only are we not stopping creating clothes, having
Mm-hmm.
that knowledge, but we're also creating them at a faster, quicker rate and then
Yeah.
disposing them at a faster
Mm-hmm.
rate than we ever have in the past.
I know.
It's
I know.
truly
So alarming.
mind-boggling. So shop what's already out there and download BONNEE. And on that note, where can people find you guys on social media or anywhere else?
Yeah, so we are at Swap Bonnie everywhere. You can find us there. You can download our app on Google Play or the app stores. But yeah, Swap Bonnie everywhere.
Yay! Everyone check it out. I know that I need to go through my closet. It's driving me slightly insane. So I'm gonna go through my closet. I'm gonna put some things on my BONNEE app, and I encourage everyone listening to do so as well. I think it's so cool what you're doing, and I thank you for all your amazing work in the sustainability community. And thank you so much.
Thank you. We hope to see maybe one of those brown boots on Bonnie soon.
Hopefully, I don't know if I can part. After talking about it, I should definitely be putting one of them up there. That's it for this week's episode of the Lexi Show Fashion. That gives a damn big thanks to Vanessa. Whether it's fashion or everyday products, this is how sustainability should work. If this conversation resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Head to lexisilverstein.com for more content on sustainable style and conscious consumption, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Lexi Silverstein. That's Lexy, silver like the color, Stein. Remember to live a good life and look fucking good doing it, and demand better from the brands in your closet and everywhere else. See you next week.